Hi, my name's Ruan and this is my channel, The Yorkshire Sew Girl. So, you're probably wondering why I'm kind of holding you like this, but I thought it was probably about time I showed you my final sewing room. Now, I've gone back on my videos because I did two parts. I did an inspiration video for moving from the very small box room that we've got into this spare room, and then I did like a halfway through progress type thing, and then I never did the final room. And I've had a look back and it was actually this time last year that I did that. I'm really sorry. How bad am I? I think it's because I've been kind of waiting to potentially make changes in the room and things like that. But I just thought, you know what? You guys just need to see it how it is right now. There's still plenty that I would like to do and I'm in the process of doing. But I thought for now, you might want to have a look at what it's like now. I like to do that. I like to be nosy and see where people sew. Do you? Is it just me? Am I the only nosy one? So what I'll do is I'll flip you around now and you can have a look at what it looks like. What I'll do as well is if you haven't seen the other two videos, I will pop them, links to them in the description box below so you can go and have a kind of look if you want to do it in order. If you like me and you like to do things in order, you can watch the inspiration, the progress, and then the finale. So I'll flip you around now and I'll talk you through my room. So this is as you come in my door. So the door is behind me and this is my room. This is where I'm enjoying myself quite a lot. Now there are some creaky floorboards down here. I'm just letting you know so you don't think I'm doing little trumps. But anyway, so for anybody who does remember, I had some furniture. This was in my old sewing room, this was in my old sewing room, and this was in my old sewing room, and a couple of the pegboards and my mannequin. But everything else is pretty new, if I'm honest. So this is a new desk that I got from IKEA that comes with the drawers. And then I got one more Kallax unit here. And then Hubster, you probably have seen that, and the other one built me the best thing in the whole entire world. Oh, I love this thing so much. So yeah, that's me. I mean, it's a decent sized room. I'm very, very lucky. I get to come in here and chill out and do a little bit of sewing every now and again. So, shall I talk you through everything? There's still stuff that hasn't been done, i.e., can you see there? That's the Yorkshire Sew Girl sign. Still haven't put that up. Shocking. Over here, I have some boards, my notice boards that keep falling down that need to be put back up. And there is lots of other stuff that's kind of in progress. But yeah, this is my new desk. This is where I sit to do my sewing. So I've got my sewing machine here and my beautiful new overlocker here. And this is where I kind of tend to do most of my work. And then I've got my ironing board here so that it's kind of all in a bit of a U shape. So do you want to delve into my drawers, people? In here I have got, this actually does look very tidy. Don't expect that from all of them. All of my bobbins, I've got all of my labels in these and my patches. So anything I want to kind of just grab to hand is all in here. Then I have got my sewing logs that I use regularly. I'm trying to be even better with that. I've got a spool pod here from Pattern Trace, and I put all of my Mariflex in here with the matching bobbin if I've used them, just to keep those separate. And then I have these other things from Pattern Trace, which is where I keep all of my needles, so that I can know what I'm using, what I've not used, if I need to buy new ones, etc. And they're just all labelled up. So I enjoyed doing that. That feels nice and organised. Then in the next one, I've got kind of all of my ironing things. So I've got my tailor's ham, my clapper, my sleeve ham. I've got ironing cloths. And then I've got a couple of tins in here. Excuse the banging around. Which has got my pliers in and things for eyelets. And then in this one, we've got just little bits, patches, embroidery things, that kind of thing. So loads of bits and bobs in there. And then the bottom two drawers are overlocker threads. I was very, very lucky that when I bought my overlocker from David Drummond, he gave me an awful lot of coats. There was an offer on, he gave me loads of coats. Overlocker threads. So this is my mannequin. This has actually got a Maison Fauve dress on it that I made ages ago, but I need to adjust it. So the waist is just far too low for me. I need to unpick the skirt part of it and take it up, I think, about 2 inches. So that's just waiting, sat there waiting. Down here I have a bin, which is where I put all of my scraps while I'm working. So I have one of those kind of charity bags inside it, and I just wang all my scraps off the side of my desk onto there, and then I bag that up. I've also got my extender table here as well for when I need to use that. To be fair, I've only had that out once or twice, so probably should consider that more, but anyway. And then over here I have got my ironing board. It looks a bit minging now. Ironing boards always go like that. We shouldn't have white ironing board covers, should we? And this was an ironing board that some lovely subscriber recommended to me. She said, get this, it's a shirt ironing board. It doesn't have the curved bit at the end. It just has 2 larger sections and it's massive. So if I can come back here, you can kind of see the scale of it, but you get so much use out of this bad boy. So if you've got like, I've got long legs, if I've got like a trouser leg or anything like that, or a coat, it's not constantly falling over the back. This is quite a big difference for me because before I used to have a mini ironing board. And then that's my iron. It's just a cheap iron that I got for 20 quid from B&M, and it's blooming brilliant. So I've got that. And then up on this wall here, I've got a couple of picture, what do you call them? Shelves, picture shelves with all of my beautiful bits and bobs that I've been given in the past or that I've made. And then I've got a mahoosive mirror. I'll go stand in front of it. There you go. I'm wearing today, just in case you want to know, I think it's the Sewing Machiner Herman t-shirt, something like that. It's a bit cheeky at the back. It goes right down at the back. I love it. It's just nice for casual chilling out. Right, I'm trying not to make you dizzy here. So then over here on the window ledge, I've got a few things here which have got ribbons and things like that in it that I keep. So you might be able to see through that. There's some First for Fabrics ribbons, pictures of my boys and my lovely friend Claudia. Over here I've got, these are felt flowers that I made quite some time ago now. But every time I have a lot of plants or anything in here, I kill them for some reason because I'm quite good with plants, but not those. Yeah, they're my little ironing pot holders, and then there's the Yorkshire Sew Girl sign that will get put up. It will. Then I've got 3 pegboards. So I've got 2, let me move my lamp. It's right in where, look at that. Get it out of the way. 2 with threads on. So you can see kind of the colours. They go from white down to like a bluey green, and then over here's more the pinks, purples, etc. And then I've got my little pockets. So there's all pencils, pens. In here there's all like seam tape, wonder tape, that kind of thing in here. This is all kind of fabric glue, fray check, my buttonhole cutter, which I love. If you haven't tried one of these, please do. Don't use the pin and seam ripper because these are better. And then here I've got kind of hot hemmers, buttonhole guides. I've got my loop turners, rulers, that kind of thing. Over here I've just got random stuff really. My dungarees kit, my colours, because I use those all the time from when I've had my colours done. And I've got some random buttons in here. And then up here is, this came free with something from Tilly and the Buttons, can't remember now. Or was it with So Haley Jane box? Can't even remember. So I've got a few things up there that I've kind of been working on. And then down here I've got kind of my scissors hung up, a little notepad. These are my grading scissors. They're Tula pink ones. They're absolutely amazing. Duckbill scissors. Ugh. A few like little signs that I just can't not have there. A little Soul Sister one. I've got the gonk that I did out of the Beyond the Pink Door. I've got my pins are all on an embroidery thing. Alexa's there. I've switched her off because otherwise if I kept saying her name she'd go off, wouldn't she? And then at the side of my sewing machine I always have my caddy that Adam made, and that's the little packer that goes inside it. And I have everything kind of that I need there, as well as up here. And it's right next to me. And I always have this with me as well, which Sally, the lovely Staffordshire sewist, sent me, which just shows me which pin, which needle I've got in my sewing machine. Someone said, why don't you just stick a pin in whichever one it is? Because that's the thing I struggle with the most. I forget what needle I've got in. I also have this here all the time. That's just a little pin cushion that I got in the very first Beyond the Pink Door advent calendar, and I use it loads. I have different pins for different functions. These are my favourite pins in the whole wide world. The beautiful Lorraine sent these to me, and they are incredible. I have a pair of snips always on the go. These are incredible, these ones, the LDH ones, and again they were in the first Beyond the Pink Door advent calendar and I use them all the time. I have obviously my little mats here because I have drinks, and then I have a to-do list just so that I can scribble stuff down as and when I need it. And then I have quite a few like pin cushions. I do like pin cushions, so I have those on little shelves and just little trinkets really. Let me move this out of the way. And then I have, like, you know, spools where you've only got a little bit left, and I use these to put buttons on. Yeah. Then there's some more pin cushion. There's Adam's pin cushion that he made me. Look at that, it's just the cutest little thing. Yeah, and some random buttons because I've just sorted my button storage out. And then here I have normally whatever pattern I'm working on, I will then pop the pieces in there as I'm working and then put them away at the end. And then I've just got a few random things. Yeah, these are my boards that I normally have up here, but they keep falling down. So I need to find a better way of doing that. And I also have this that Judy from Running So and So gifted me as well, which is absolutely beautiful. So they're just there waiting to go back up. I have my gorgeous thread catcher. I have another coaster, a lot of coasters next to my overlocker. That again is something from the Beyond the Pink Door advent calendar, and a pair of just a cheap pair of snips. But I do want to get another good pair because they are nothing like the LDH ones. There's my beautiful machine that I love. And then what we've got in these drawers will not be as organised. So I've got pads, receipts, my useful string, sellotape, pens, that sort of thing in there. This one needs a good going through. Same here, loads of pads, ridiculousness. A random staple gun actually in the back. And then in here I've got my instruction manuals. I have got my knee lift here, and then I've got things like my feet. These are all different feet that I use for my machine. I would say I've used about 20%, if that, of those. I also have a kit for doing bias binding, although I've just bought a bias binding machine maker. And then in here I have got my project bags. So these are for when I've cut a project out, they just go into one of these, and these are just my empty ones. And then in the bottom are my envelopes as well that I use for my PDF patterns. So loads of stuff there. I really enjoy this setup, if I'm honest. I don't think there's much I would change about this setup. Oh, I've got one more drawer. Do you want to have a look? Look at this drawer. Oh, it's even got an IKEA divider in it. Look at that. I think that looks quite good. But in here I've got quite a lot of stuff that I need to hand, because obviously I'm sewing just here. So I've got my seam ripper, a couple of other cheap snips, hand needles, my seam hump jumper, sewing gauge, paper clips, my magnetic thing, needle minders, you name it, pins, my brushes for cleaning my machine, my spool holders, paper clips, my gorgeous pattern weights. I don't get them out very often actually, and I should do really. I've got my seam circles from Generates as well in there, some paper clips, a rolly thing for your seams if you're working with cotton, and yeah, some sellotape and bits and bobs like that in there. So I'm constantly opening that up and grabbing stuff out of it. But yeah, one of the most important things on this desk is this bad boy. Now, I'm going to turn you around, I'm going to talk to you about these because, as you know, I do work with serious readers and I have done for over a year now, and I absolutely love them. So yeah, I thought you might want to kind of see them from this angle. So I've gone for the heavyweight base, so it is pretty sturdy. It takes a lot to lift it. There is a lightweight one and a heavyweight one. I have then gone for the Gemini option, which has got 2 of these bad boys. And the reason I went for 2 is because I've got my sewing machine here and my overlocker here. So if I'm going between the 2, excuse me, I like to have one on each. But then if I'm just on my sewing machine, I have kind of one on my sewing machine and one on if I'm doing something close by that I want to have a look at. These focus in and out, the lights. Let me switch one on. And then you've also got a dimmer as well on it. So these handles here are just brilliant because you can just move them around. And they're just amazing. You know how much I bang on about these though, because I love them that much. But yeah, I use them for a lot of stuff, particularly if I'm on picking at night time. It's really good for me as well. So I'll sit here, put Alexa on, watch a YouTube video, pop both of these on, and then I'll just sit and unpick. I mean, let's face it, we don't like unpicking, so doing this is really good. Now, you might know that these are the Serious Lights. They are using daylight wavelength technology, so that replicates the daylight as much as is physically possible using a light like this, and it's really good for colours. So as you can see up here, I've always got loads of different colours and they're all very similar, but then when you're matching them up to your fabric, it's really good to have these on because you can match them up a lot easier. Now, as I work with them, they do offer me a code to give to you guys. You can get £100 off any of the daylight wavelength technology range. That's the HD range, and you can get free delivery as well. So I'll pop all the details in the description box below, but basically all you need to do is click on the link below and pop in the code SR517 into checkout, and that will get you £100 off and free delivery. So let me know if you do take up on that offer. A lot of people have messaged me and have all talked about how wonderful it is. So I've not had one negative piece of feedback so far, so yay to that. Right, let's turn you around. So I've turned you around. I didn't want to keep making you dizzy. So here are my 2 Kallax units. So you can see, don't take life too seriously. Nobody gets out alive anyway. That's a true story. Up here, let's talk up here. I've got a radio, never listened to it. Don't know why it's there, to be honest. Never listened to it because I have Alexa in here now. These are all my PDF patterns that are all in like cardboard backed envelopes, but I'm going to be changing this system. I'll tell you why in a minute. And then over here I have my beautiful little button storage box that I've talked about a lot recently, and then you can just pull the little things out and you've got some buttons in there. I love this so much because when I'm doing a project now, I can just literally grab that, take it over to my desk, sit with it and work everything out. It's wonderful. Now, this is the bit that's probably needs the most work, I would say, in my room, and that's all to do with the patterns. So you'll see here, I've got some paper patterns here, and then I've started filing them now in these plastic files. Now, I'm not a massive fan of single-use plastic, but these are going to be used an awful lot. I tried to use the I'm not pointing at the right thing for you, am I? The paperback things, but when I use the pattern a lot, look what this one is, Marnie Blouse, they're just ripping because I'm using them so much. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a good go through all of my PDF patterns. I'm going to clear a load out that I just don't think I'm going to use anymore. I'm going to transfer all the ones that I love and I want to keep into these plastic files so that they can be kept for longer and I don't rip anything. So this is all ready for sorting out. So that's my to-do pile. I then have 2 of these. These were just from IKEA a long time ago, but they fit paper patterns in perfectly. These are all my paper patterns. I have been through all of these and I've culled a lot of them, but these are the ones that I've got left. That's my little maker cricket thing that I got for ordering a Tilly and the Buttons pattern. I think I was like one of the first 50 or something. I've still not put that on. It's just there to remind me. Then I have all of my books. So I've quite a few books here. I also have all the So Hayley Jane booklets. I like to keep those. And just some like lavender things that I did on my Vlogmas ages ago. Then I've got some more books. I've got all of the kind of sewing bee ones. I've never made one pattern, I don't think. Oh no, I've made one and it didn't fit me. That was very much at the beginning of my sewing experience. This was just me doing prototype for Beyond the Pink Doors calendar this year. And then I've got loads of cards and things like this. I like to keep, you know, when people send me things and they're just lovely, I like to keep everything. So I have lots of like little handmade cards that people have sent me and I just can't bear to get rid of them. So they're all sat there. Right, then my fabric was doing quite well in the fact that it was quite organised. So this is my fabric stash. So there's actually quite a lot, isn't there? I didn't think I had that much, but I think that's quite a lot. So we've got unusual fabrics. That's the technical term for this spot down here. And I decided to roll all of my fabrics so that I can still see them visibly, but I can try and get as many in as possible without disturbing them. If I lay them flat, I may be able to get more fabrics in, but then you know when you pull one out and the whole lot falls down. So I've gone with rolling them and that seems to be working quite successfully at the moment. So then I've got lots of knits here and here, and then I've got viscose here, lots of viscose. Viscose linens, more viscose. Then I've got like cotton jerseys, that type of thing along here. Down here I've got like more cotton and cotton blends, and then I've got like double gauze and kind of blends here as well. So you can see what I've got the most of, and that is definitely like the viscose type of fabrics. But I love looking at it because it's just so bright and cheerful and colourful, and I love it. Over here is just a mess. So I've got a So Hayley Jane box here, which was a duplicate that I'm going to be giving away soon. I've got my purple package, which is my bag kit from Jenny Stitches, which I've just bought. And then I've just got a couple of fabrics that I had pulled out for projects that just need to go back. I think I pulled them out for vlogs. I need to put them back in. And then down here is just all sorts of rubbish. So these are my granddad's clothes. Obviously he passed in September last year, for anybody who's been watching my channel, and I wanted a selection of his clothes that I loved the most. This was his favourite shirt of mine, and I want to do something with it, but I'm not rushing into that decision, so I've still got those there. I have got all of my paper patterns that I've decided to cull in here, like you do, and then all the rest of this is kind of like leftovers from projects that are not small amounts. They're kind of larger amounts, but not a metre, if you know what I mean. So I've got all of these here to have a good sort through at some point. 2025 probably. Right, then over here I have got my trolley, which I've had for ages. So in the top of here I've got kind of mostly all the sort of things I need for cutting out. So I've got in here, let me see if I can do this with one finger. I've got my rotary cutters in here and my paper weights, my pattern weights here that I use. This is a little zip bag that my sewing teacher made me. We used to always go on a Wednesday and we used to always say we were winging it, and she made us all one in different colours. So I've had that for a long time, but it's very precious to me. I've got Bex from What Bex Sews pattern weights here, and just some more tape measures, bits and bobs that I use all the time. And then down here is kind of spare plastic files and then odds and sods of stuff that I need to sort out. So those bottom two are to kind of, yeah, have a look through really. can sort out. You will also notice my old overlocker there as well, my brother. I've kept that out because I'm gonna hopefully do the comparison vlog about different overlockers. But this is my favourite baby in the whole wide world. It's coming a close third in the line of my children, and then this. I've got 2 children, and then this is my next favourite thing. Don't tell my husband. I love this. So before I used to have to take my stuff downstairs to the kitchen table, break my back. Now I don't have to. This is incredible. This, if you want more information and you haven't seen my progress video, please do go and have a look at that, because that tells you all about it. But it's basically 3 Kallax units with 4 cubes of each, put together on casters with plywood on the bottom and the top. And then I have got this amazing cutting mat. So I did look at loads of different options for cutting mats. The one I wanted that had the grid lines on it, they didn't cut it down to measure. All the other ones, the clear ones and things like that, they would then cut them down to be bespoke. But this one, for some reason, and I don't really understand why, they wouldn't cut it down to make it a bespoke size. So I bought the one that was as close as possible, and then my husband cut it down for me. It's not stuck down or anything because it doesn't need to because of the weight. So on this side it's white, and on this side it's green. Husband stuck on some trim onto it so that I don't catch myself, and we just painted it up white just to kind of make it look all right. But over here then I've got 4 cubes here, which is incredible for storage. In here I've got all my interfacing. In here I have got scraps. So when, I think it was a vet from Blossom Sandwich Sews said, why don't you use one of these for your scraps when you're cutting out? So that's what I do. I just dump them in there. I have got in here all of my ribbings and things like that, cuffing. And then in here I've got projects that I'm just in the process of cutting out or planning. So they're all, that's my So Frugal jumpsuit. So there's that. Round this side, I've got another 2 black ones. This has got fabric that needs putting onto Stash Hub, because I like to wash my fabrics, put them onto Stash Hub, and then put them away. That's the order I like to do it. In here I have got some quilting projects that myself and my friend Michelle have been working on, so they're kind of work in progress. And then I have a what do you call it? What do you call one of these? One of them anyway. That's got all bias binding in it. So I've got lots of Laura from Specky Seamstress's bias binding. In this one I have zips in here. That's my little bias binding maker hiding behind it. Oh no, that's the rotary cutter that I got. Haven't tried that yet. And that's my bias binding maker, Simplicity one, that I need to mess about with and start using. And then here's all of kind of my rulers and small mats that I use for cutting buttonholes and things like that, and my French curve. These do my head in, I'm not gonna lie, sticking out. So let me get back up. Oh, it's hard work nowadays. So yeah, as I was saying, my phone ran out. As I was saying it, I've got this clear plastic shelf, and I think what I'm gonna do is bob that on the wall there, and then pop all my rulers lent up against the wall in it so that I can just grab them as easily as possible. This does tend to become a dumping ground if I'm not careful. That's my recent purchases from the Sewing for Pleasure show. That is some stuff I've been working on, and that's a secret project under there. Can't tell you about it. But yeah, it can become a bit of a dumping ground if I'm not careful, so I have to be very disciplined and try to make sure that I don't just dump stuff on it all the time. Now, there are also some bits around the other side. So let me see if I can just set you up here a second. Only reason I'm saying that is because, in fact, wait a minute, I'll show you what it does. I'll show you what this bad boy does. I'm really sorry if I'm just wheeling you around, but can you see I've just had to plug you in? It's so professional here. But if I move, look, because it's on casters, I can move this around, and it's just amazing. So if I've got loads of fabric and I wanted to go over one side and I wanted to go on the other side, I can just move this out and then I can get round the whole of the unit. It's a bit of a squeeze sometimes, but I can get round the whole of the unit and do what I need to do. And then I've got a ring light up here just because this is in the darkest part of the room. So when I'm at night time and I'm cutting out, I need to put my ring light on over here because I don't have my serious light over here. Have considered getting a standing serious light so that I've got something over here as well, because obviously that's on my desk over that side. So yeah, over on this side I have got, what have I got? 2 more units. There's nothing exciting in it. There is, look, some webbing, there's tracing paper, that kind of thing. In here I've got like wadding, all just random bits. And then I've also got in here bits and bobs like elastics, hardware, fat quarters, that type of thing. So you're all going to be vomiting after watching my vlog, aren't you? How I've been doing this. And then I can just push this back in place and it's all done. So I've made the most out of this unit that I possibly can by having everything kind of close by, and I just really love it. So I'm sorry if I made you sick throughout all of that. I'm not the most professional of cameramen, am I? I'm all right in this kind of position. So what do you think? What do you think to my setup? I've been using it for a year now. I absolutely love it. I am very aware that I am the luckiest person ever to have a room to sew in. I know a lot of people don't have that opportunity, so I know how lucky I am and I cherish it every single day. I never get bored of coming in here. If I want to be, if the family's about, I can keep that door open and we're all in the house mingling about, or if they're not here, I can shut that door and shut myself away from the world and crack on. So yeah, let me know if you've got some things in your sewing room that you think I could do with in mine. Do you have any certain organisation tricks that you've got going on? Is there something in my video that you've seen that you really like? Let me know and I will send you links and things like that, because I will forget and not put them all in the description box. There's so many of them. But yeah, if there's anything that you are interested in, if you've got any questions, just pop them in the comments section down below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. But for now, I'm going to go and I will see you again very soon in my next video. Take care. Bye.